Hey guys, Archice here, and today I'm going to give you my top 5 favorite super attack list for the hit mobile game Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. My list is going to have some weird and out there choices on it, because I am a fanboy for some weird and outlandish units and also specific characters. So I'm sure you're going to actually have a laugh about that. So leave me your thoughts about that down below in the comments, and remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to keep up with the latest from us here at Five9 Mobile. So let's get started. My number 5 spot goes to a fan favorite classic moment in the Dragon Ball series that when you think of Dragon Ball, this is a moment that you actually remember. This is the moment that they always showcase when they want to showcase a Dragon Ball event, bring up a specific fan favorite moment, or if they just want to have like an advertisement, right? And that moment is during the Saiyan Saga, the first part of Dragon Ball Z. And the unit we're going to be talking about for number 5 is the Tech LR Grade 8 Vegeta that released alongside STR Kaioken Goku for the part 2 of the 7th anniversary. I love this unit. When I was growing up, I watched Dragon Ball Z Kai every Saturday on Nicktoons, right? And the Saiyan Saga was the introduction of one of my favorite characters, Vegeta. So whenever they release a Vegeta unit that's from Saiyan Saga, I'm going to absolutely love that unit. I still love the physical one, I think it is. I don't remember when he released, but I know he's physical, and he released alongside the Tech Kaioken Goku unit, right? But for this Vegeta, I specifically want to talk about his 12 key. His 12 key is my number 5 spot on this list. The reason why this unit is on my number 5 on the spot is because with his animations, the lighting, the effects, all the movement he does during his 12 key, it brings back those memories and brings back that specific moment in Dragon Ball. It fully, to me, represents that moment when he's trying to fight Goku and he is struggling to actually fight him because Goku is actually much stronger than him at that point with his Kaioken and everything he learned from King Kai. You can see with all like the effects of the attack landing on the ground with the explosions, the lighting effects when he's actually launching the ki blast in his face, and how he's actually, you can see the armor's cracking everything on his shoulder. But yeah, that is my number 5 spot, Tech LR Grade 8 Vegeta's 12 key. Now, let's move on to number 4. My number 4 spot goes to a fan favorite moment in the series where a character who's on the top of everyone's list finally got introduced in the series, right? That moment was during the Majin Buu Saga, the final arc of the Dragon Ball Z series. This specific moment is when Super Vegito got introduced. And the unit that I'm specifically talking about is the LR-STR Goku Vegeta that transforms into Super Vegito that released during the, I think it was either 2019 or 2020 worldwide celebration alongside the, it was the Majin Buu that had the Gotenks in him, right? He had the Gotenks Sword. Both of these units when they released were extremely hype, and their animations, their card art, everything about them fully to me represented that moment in the series. Which is basically what I'm basing off of, right? If I like the unit, if I like the animations, and if I think they actually fully represent that moment in the series, that's what I'm going for here. And the specific key super I'm talking about for Vegito is his 18 key after he transforms into Super Vegito. The start of the animation, he comes in, he punches him, right? And you can see like the air, the camera changes are revolving around him. He grabs whoever he's fighting, flies in, throws him down with the aura around him. And then, you can see the effects, he crashes the ground, all the smoke, the ground effects going up in the air. And then when he comes back up to start doing his Kamehameha, right? His 18 keys to Kamehameha. You can see like the changes in the camera, like in the background, like the world's like moving around him, around the unit. And then he starts doing the Kamehameha and launches it. That's just like, it's a really cool animation and it represents Vegeta in the series because it's a really hype animation. It's all revolving around him, it looks like. And that's what happened in that moment in the series. Vegeta was too powerful for Majin Buu. And it is all the hype was revolving around him. He was just set up to be the hypest ending in that series until, of course, they went on the Kid Buu. But yeah, that is my number 4 spot, LR-STR Super Vegito's 18 key. My third spot is going to go to a moment that probably isn't too high on everyone's list when you think of Dragon Ball, right? And that moment is during either the Battle of Gods movie or the Battle of Gods arc in the anime. I don't actually remember which one this unit came from, but the unit I'm specifically talking about is the physical Dokkan Fest exclusive Beerus that released. I don't actually remember when. I think it was 2019 or 2020. There's one or two he released alongside a Wii Spanner unit, and yeah, this unit when he released, and even up still till today, had amazing animations, and I still think today his animations actually hold up. Because you can see during the start of it, it has some beautiful colors, some beautiful lighting. The sun is behind Beerus reflecting it. You can see the lens flares all and the bloom just all going out onto the screen and all around him. And after all that lighting effects happen, we zoom in on Beerus' face, and he starts like charging up his ki blast, right? His giant orb ki blast. That's one of his signature moves that happened during that specific moment in the series. And you can see all the the lighting effects reflected on the 2D model they have. You can see all the changes right there. It's really, really beautiful. A nice deeper color of like yellow and stuff, like gold and yellow. And then he charges up the ki blast, gets it bigger and bigger and bigger, and he throws it down on top of whatever unit you're fighting, right? Then he charges up a ki blast with his finger, with his little cat claw, and sends it flying down through the orb, and it explodes, right? And then if you win during that time, if you KO the unit, you get a KO screen, and you can see just Beerus with all the lighting effects on him and everything, where it had that golden ball light effects all over his face, over his body, him just looking down with his arms behind his back. I love the super attack animation. It's not one of my favorite moments, but I still think this is one of the best animations in the game currently, and it also fully represents that specific moment in the series really, really well. Now, I hope they do redo this moment soon, because I do think we are due for a new Dokkan Fest Beerus. But I digress. That's my number 3 spot. Let's move on to my number 2. My number 2 spot is probably going to be considered a normie pick when it comes to actually picking super attack animations. But I am a big Gogeta fanboy. Gogeta is my favorite out of the two. And then of course SSJ4 is my favorite transformation in the series. I love SSJ4 despite GT not being the greatest sequel series. It had its moments, but it wasn't that good. But SSJ4 was one of those good moments that introduced, and the specific unit I want to talk about is the LR SSJ4 Physical Gogeta that released during the 7th anniversary of Dokkan Battle. I specifically want to talk about his transform state, not the pre-transform state, right? And I want to talk about his 18 key. I like his 12 key, I love the clones and everything, I love all that happens. But I want to talk about the Big Bang Kamehameha super attack that he does during his 18 key. During this moment in the series, Gogeta obviously was much more powerful than Omega during the time, and that was very obvious with how Gogeta was being very comical with Omega and everything. You had the clones, he was taunting him by sitting down on buildings and stuff. He had the little popper and everything he used, and that's all evident in his animation. But the 18 key is specifically one of the serious moments. You can see it from the start where he zigzags towards the unit, right? When he's punching and everything, he's coming in to punch him. He punches him, sends him flying up. You can tell how legitimately powerful it is because there's a slight delay before it sends him off. And usually in those moments, whenever that happens, it usually means that the punch is super strong, it's taken effect, and it's over exaggerated to show how strong it is. So he punches him, sends him flying off, but it's after a few seconds of waiting there. And then Gogeta starts forming the Big Bang Kamehameha in his hands, and you can see all that in the lighting effects and everything, right? He sends the Big Bang Kamehameha a little bit outwards. You can see some little lightning effects, I would call them, lightning key effects out in front of him. And he starts charging up to a giant beam, and you can see the beam coming towards you, towards the camera. And then it rotates to behind Gogeta. You can see all the beautiful blues and everything, and the color scheme they chose to do and everything from the Big Bang Kamehameha. You can especially see it when you're behind him because all the lighting effects are on Gogeta. On Gogeta, everything around him. and the Kamehameha itself, right? It's probably considered a top 5 list on a lot of people's list, especially with how good the animations have gotten with the 7th anniversary. But that's my number 2 spot. I rambled on long enough about me being a Gogeta fan, and this Gogeta being my number 2. Let's move on to my number 1 spot and my top 5 super attack list. My number 1 spot also goes to probably considered a top 5 moments in the series on a lot of people's list. And this was the moment where a specific character finally got his redemption arc, and the final part of his character development finally happened, his changing arc, right? And this specific character, the specific moment, is the Majin Vegeta moment. Specifically when he fights Majin Buu, and he knows that he has to sacrifice himself to win, and he finally fights for someone other than himself. He fights for everyone that's not him, right? For his son, for Goku, everyone around him. And I specifically want to talk about the INT Majin Vegeta unit that released alongside the Trunks and Goten banner unit. I think that was either this year or last year. That is an amazing moment. It's an amazing unit. Still holds up today in a lot of content, especially his animations. And his OST, but we're not here to talk about OST. That would be a different video. So, he only has the one key attack because he's a Dokkan Fest. And you can see in the beginning, he starts charging up. He's getting ready to go launch. He has in a form where he's about to launch himself off, going flying forward. He's charging up the key. He has all the lightning and the aura around him. He's obviously all tattered up and beaten up because he's been fighting. He fought Goku. He's been fighting Majin Buu. You can see all the smoke effects and the rock effects coming up around his aura. And it kind of looks like the animation style they did for the original Dragon Ball Z. That old-timey classic animation style that everyone loves. And then he launches himself off, starts flying towards the opponent. He knees, whoever you're fighting in the face, and then he kicks them away and everything, and sends them flying back, and all the auras like changing around him and stuff. It's very beautiful. Looks like the old animation style Dragon Ball. We then get a zoom in where Vegeta has 3 fingers pointed out. He has his index, he has his middle finger, and then his thumb pointed out. Starts charging up what I think it's called the Final Impact. I don't remember the exact name of it, but you see like all the lightning effects are going up and down his body, kind of like the moment where like SSJ2 Gohan happened. And you can see like all lightning effects going up, and we go to like a black screen, and you can see the lightning effects only, and then it zooms in to the front of his fingers. He launches the blast off, right? And then we get, when he launches off, after it starts going for a bit, we can see like the camera like kind of moves around it. It has a weird move. It's in front of it, and it moves to the side and then behind it in just a few seconds. It's a really beautiful shot, a really beautiful, well animated. It hits the opponent, and there's a giant explosion, right? And it has all of it, just has that same type of animation style from the original Dragon Ball that we all love and know. Those have been my top 5 favorite super attacks currently in the game as of this recording. So, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of my top 5, if you would move anyone around in my specific list, or who you would replace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell if you want to keep up to date with Five Nine Mobile and everything it does. We have some awesome things in the works for you guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next video. Bye bye!